Welcome to another screencast feedback session of an IELTS Writing Task 2 essay. So as always, I am checking live a question which says some people think that personal happiness is directly related to economic success, while others argue that happiness depends on different factors. So these are the two views we have to discuss, and we also have to give our own opinion. Alright, so the word count should at least be 250. It should actually be higher than that. So what did this student write? This student wrote 322 words. This is a very good word count for IELTS. It's not too high, but it's also quite high. So to me, it's ideal if my student has been able to write this within the time limit of about 40 minutes. So that's a very good time, and also a word count. So let's go to reading the answer line by line. Money can't buy you happiness. We've all heard this quote at least once in our life, but is it actually true? Okay, so this is a good start, but I would advise anyone to not use rhetorical questions in the IELTS exam, because as you know, the IELTS is an academic and formal exam. We shouldn't write rhetorical questions. We shouldn't write incomplete sentences. We shouldn't begin with and or because or with other prepositions. Alright, avoid rhetorical questions in formal academic writing. Okay, well, money might not buy you happiness directly, but it seems economical success is highly relevant when it comes to achieving happiness. Alright, so there are some issues, tiny issues in this sentence. First of all, well, so I like the word well, but it is normally used in dialogue. It's used when we're speaking, but not when we're writing a formal academic writing. So it's the same as the previous comment. Another thing is to not use the second person. Alright, second person point of view. You can write by one or by people. Alright, so the word economical, it should not be used here. The correct word is economic. However, there is a word called economical. Do you know when it is used? So economical is used for words like, for example, this was an economical purchase, which means that it was a reasonable purchase. It didn't cost me that much money compared to the quality. Alright, so economical means the price was right, or the price was actually lower than the worth. So that is economical. However, here the writer wanted to write economic, which is related to money. For example, we all know the subject economics, so that's why it's economic, not economical. Otherwise, it's a good sentence. Nevertheless, so this is a good transitional marker. Let me mark it in green. It certainly isn't. Another thing is to not use contractions. Do not use contractions in formal academic writing. So there are a lot of informal usage here by this writer. Only factor when it comes to happiness. It can be said that achieving happiness is a multivariable equation. Okay, so this, excuse me. I like this phrase, multivariable equation, which means an equation which has multiple variables, right? However, this part, I'm sorry, I have a little bit of cough. Let me rephrase this, okay? Full stop after equation, and then Therefore, there are a lot of, not therefore, I think it should be in fact. That's a better linking device. There are a lot of factors or elements, aspects, alright, at play, which are discussed below. But speaking from a personal preference, I like this sort of writing style where the writer writes as if he or she is talking with the reader. So it's like he or she is moving you through the motions. Okay, so but that is not a formal academic writing requirement, and that's all. Not only a requirement, that is not even allowed. Okay, so you will be penalized if you write it like this in an IELTS exam. Moving on, firstly, so this is a linking device, monetary. It should be monetary. Okay, so the word is monetary, not monetary. Monetary gain seems to be, so he missed a word here, to, seems to be in top of everybody's, it should be at the top of everybody's priority list, and rightfully so. As to live, there should be a comma here. As to live a proper and healthy life, economic success is a must. Okay, money is an essential commodity, so this is a good vocabulary item. The word essential too, that can buy you, should be one. Okay, do not write you. I want useful material possession as well as allow, the same as before, to experience exotic. Okay, so this is a good word. And stimulating experience, it should be experiences. Whenever we write anything, any nouns or noun phrases in English, we give it plural or write it with an article. For example, I like mangoes, not I like mango. I like bananas, not banana. I like apples, not apple. But you can use an article, for example, if not I like apples, not that sentence, but if it's, for example, I want a pen, right? I want one pen, so a pen, or I want the pen. If it's an orange, I want an orange. I want an apple. So either an article or the plural has to be used. So here he has used neither one. Allow you to experience, it could be an exotic and stimulating experience, but it's not, he's not talking about a specific or a singular experience, right? So it should be experiences. Many people consider this kind of experience a luxury, okay, which in turn gives them the feeling of happiness. There is also the fact that gaining a profit or earning money for some people is a very, the word very is not a very good word use, a richer vocabulary item, like quite and enjoyable. Okay, is not quite an enjoyable thing. The word thing also is not a, it's not going to earn you good marks in vocabulary. Aspect, variable, right, etc. There are many others. There should also be a comma afterwards, and this gives them happiness. But otherwise it's a good paragraph. The writer has talked extensively, written extensively about this view, which is, some people think that personal happiness is directly related to economic success. Okay, so this is another transitional marker. There should be a comma here though. Many people believe, the word, it was a slip of, it was a typo, I guess. many people believe, because it's plural of course, it's won't be believes, that money isn't, should be, is not. What gives someone happiness? There should be a semicolon here. Rather, comma, it is just a factor amongst many. It is the experience that induces, wow, induces, this is a very good word, I like it a lot, the feeling of happiness in people's interactions with other people, experiencing all the beautiful things the world has to offer. Okay, so it shouldn't be is, it should be are, right? Interactions and also experiencing, and there should also be a comma here because there are two things, this one and then the next one. So I'm marking this in red. It should be are what give the feeling of happiness. These experiences do not have to be all fancy and luxurious to be fun. Okay, so it should be, there should be a semicolon or a full stop. Sorry. The Roman phrase, the word Roman should be capital. Carpe diem, meaning seize the day, describes it the best. Okay, so this is also a very good phrase. Let me mark it in blue. Living in the moment, getting satisfaction with these little things in life seems okay. I guess that I think this is a collective noun phrase, so this is a singular noun, so that's why it's a third person singular. Seems to be the true source of happiness for a lot of people. Okay, so also this paragraph is strictly dedicated to this view. Others argue that happiness depends on different factors. Okay, so this is in regards to content, this is very good. Finally, the last paragraph to sum up. Monetary, again it should be monetary, and also he has written this word before. Paraphrase it. Phrase it like financial gain, success, right? Might be one of the major factors. It should be factors, like one of the many factors, like there are many factors and one of them is monetary gain behind achieving happiness. There should be a comma here. But by no means, it should be means, not mean, but by no means it is the only one. It should be is it the only one. Okay, so it's a complicated sentence structure. Normally we do not write like this, by no means is it the only one, but for this phrase, if you want to write it, you have to write it correctly. Is it? All right, this may sound like incorrect, but it is what it is. The way to happiness varies person to person. It should be from person to person and depends a lot on other factors, which are, right? It should be are quite arbitrary in nature. Okay, so I don't know why it is bold. Okay, so overall it's a good essay. There are many grammatical mistakes, there are some formal there are some informal writing, but besides that it's a good essay. I don't know if it will get a 7, but let's see. Let's start with task response. Very good. You have fulfilled both the task requirements of discussing both views and making your opinion clear and justified. So to clarify, this is his introduction, this is his first view discussion, second view discussion, and between these two paragraphs he has also given his own opinion. He has also made his opinion clear, and this is the sum up. For example, with this sentence alone, it is clear that he is supporting this view, the second view. It certainly isn't. So he didn't specify that it's his view, but he implied it. So I really like how he did this part. I don't know if he did it intentionally, but this is very good. You don't have to spell out that my opinion is ... You can express it very clearly through your writing. So, and also within these two paragraphs it was very clear. Maybe he will even get a 9 here. Let me see. Fully addresses and sufficiently addresses. I think he's getting a 9 here. Congrats. You're one of the only people who got a 9 in task response. Mashallah. Okay, so moving on to coherence and cohesion. So paragraphing is good. However, transitional sentence markers you didn't use a lot. For example, this is a transitional marker, only one in the first para. Well is a sort of a transitional marker, but it's very informal. It's transitional. This is somewhat of a transition. Yeah, there is definitely a lack of transitional words. Use many more linking devices, like for example, moreover, on the other hand, etc. So what does he get here? I don't know if I can give him a 7. Let me look through it a little bit more. No, I think he deserves more than a 6 here. Let me give him a 7. So just for this, you didn't get an 8 or a 9. Okay, so this really hampered your marks. So lexical resource 2, you made a lot of mistakes. Many informal aspects of writing, and you did use some good vocabulary, but you can improve more synonyms. Another thing is spelling mistakes. That goes to grammar, I guess. Okay. No, that does go to this one. Monetary. So even though it's, I don't remember if there were other spelling mistakes like monetary, but it's a huge one, and you wrote it twice. Let's see if you get a 7. I don't think so. Yeah, I think it doesn't impede communication, so you're getting a 6 here, not below. Finally, grammatical range and accuracy. So there were some inaccurate usage. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are quite a lot. So what about range? So if you didn't know, grammatical range and accuracy. Range is even before accuracy. So accuracy is of course related to the accuracy or the lack thereof of grammatical mistakes, and range is your usage of complex sentences, simple, compound, so a mixture of them. So have you used a lot of complex sentences? Yes, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have. You can, but even though you have used some complex sentences, I would suggest you to use even more and more variety. You've used similar complex sentence types. Okay, use even more complex sentences, such as by starting with the, although, besides, etc. So let's see what you're getting. Yeah, you're getting a 6 just because of your grammatical mistakes, otherwise you'd get a 7. So let's count. 6 6 is 12, 12 plus 9 is 21, 28. So it's a 7, right? No, not 40. Sorry, what am I doing? It should be, yeah, it's a 7. So good job. You've done well, especially with your task response. I'm very impressed. So you just focus on the little mistakes pointed out here. Okay, hope you've enjoyed. Hope you stay with me on my journey to become more fluent in English.